At 9.
And welcome to Ozarks Fox News at 9. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm John Adams.
And I'm Jennifer Abreu. We start off tonight with your top headlines. These stories are real new now. U.S. senators have reached a $4.6 billion deal for emergency border funding. Administration officials told lawmakers the Office of Refugee Resettlement will be broke within weeks without this infusion. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell wants to put it on the floor next week.
The U.S. military says a Japanese tanker attacked in the Gulf of Oman last week was damaged by a mine. According to the Navy, the mine used in the attack looks just like mines Iran displays during military parades. The mines are usually attached to the hull of a ship below the water surface using magnets, and the U.S. is blaming Iran for that attack.
YouTube is looking at changing the way it handles content for children, which some say are not always appropriate. One idea includes doing away with the site's automatic play feature for younger viewers. According to the Wall Street Journal, YouTube may also move children's videos entirely off of its main site and place it on the YouTube Kids site. Making local news now, things are moving along pretty quickly for implementing medical marijuana laws in Missouri, but there are some things you should keep in mind if you plan on applying for a medical card.
While medical marijuana is legal in Missouri, it is still illegal federally, which will have an impact on gun owners. Our Jesse Inman is live tonight after speaking with a firearms dealer earlier today in Springfield. Jesse, what did you learn?
Well, guys, here at the Eagle Armory over here on National, they haven't had too many inquiries yet, but they do know in the next few months we'll have to tell those who are medical marijuana patients that they can't sell them a firearm.
You know, I could see how some people would get frustrated by it, but, you know, we have to do our part.
Their part at Eagle Armory is to abide by the federal law. Chan Hocklander says as a licensed dealer by the federal firearms license, that's the word they go by.
At the end of the day, since we're licensed by the federal government, those are the laws we abide by. So, you know, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter what the state says, but at the end of the day, the federal law is going to trump state law for a business like ours.
In fact, state law doesn't say much yet at all when it comes to medical marijuana and firearms ownership.
The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services are still sort of crafting the rules and regulations when it comes to medicinal marijuana in Missouri.
Criminal defense lawyer Adam Woody says the ATF, or the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, has been fairly lenient when it comes to states passing laws to legalize cannabis.
But when it comes to gun ownership in conjunction with medicinal marijuana, that's sort of where the ATF has decided to kind of put its foot down. They are regulating that very closely, and in fact the ATF has completely outlawed sales of guns to people who have medicinal marijuana permits or prescriptions.
If a medical marijuana patient tries to buy a gun, they won't get very far.
And that is one of the things that actually background checks for purchasing firearms looks at. If you're on the list of having a medical marijuana card, you cannot purchase a new firearm.
At Eagle Armory, they know in the coming months those situations are bound to happen.
Eagle Armory.
But they're still working on how to deal with customers who have that conflict.
We'll talk about it more as we get more info, but, you know, for now, it's, you know, we're just playing it by ear and seeing where things go.
Now, Woody told me today that he expects state regulations to stay silent on these regulations, which would leave it entirely in the hands of the federal government to kind of make sure that people aren't breaking the law when it comes to that federally. Now, while we wait on those final regulations to come down, Woody also told me that this really only applies to people looking to buy new firearms, saying that if you already own a gun and you plan to apply for a medical marijuana card, there's no current state law that would prevent you from doing that. In Springfield, Jesse Inman, Ozarks First.
All right, thanks, Jesse. New at 9 tonight. A 19-year-old Springfield man has died after a motorcycle accident on the west side of town. The accident happened on West Division near I-44 this afternoon. Police say a pickup truck was turning through an intersection and hit the motorcycle. Authorities on scene say the motorcycle was speeding when the crash happened. The driver of the truck was sent to the hospital with moderate injuries. And a man from Ozarks was killed last night after an accident in Stone County. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says 19-year-old Nathan Brookshire was on a motorcycle and tried to pass a car on Highway 13 in Branson West. That car started to pass another car at the same time, causing the accident. Brookshire was thrown off the motorcycle and was pronounced dead at the scene.
14 people here in the Ozarks are now facing indictments for their role in a conspiracy to distribute meth in Greene County. The 23-count indictment alleges these individuals plan to distribute 50 grams of meth in Greene County between 2016 and 2018. Some of the people included in the indictment are also facing charges related to possession of meth and illegal possession of a firearm. You can find a full list of the names included in that indictment in the story right there on your phone on our Color 10 app.
Happening now, the Lebanon Rural Fire Protection District is still recovering after over $50,000 worth of equipment was stolen from one of their stations over the weekend. Multiple items, including extraction tools, air packs, and a thermal imaging camera, were stolen from the station sometime between June 13th and June 16th. Fire Chief Philip Pitt says the district's other stations are helping out. He also says the station will be getting new equipment through insurance, but it could be a long process. A fire inside a trailer in Phelps County is now believed to be arson. Authorities say someone started the fire on purpose yesterday. The trailer was parked on County Road 8240. The fire was quickly put out, but there was major damage to the inside of the trailer. A reward is now being offered. Anyone with information is asked to call the Missouri Arson Hotline, and that number is on your screen.
In political news now, Representative Vicki Hartzler has introduced a bill to help veterans pay for medical transportation to VA hospitals. Currently, the law says the VA can only reimburse emergency medical transportation costs for trips to non-VA hospitals. Hartzler's bill would cover transportation costs for veterans to be moved from non-VA hospitals to VA facilities after receiving emergency care. Like we said, as of right now, the VA will not cover the patient's transport to a VA clinic for post-emergency room care.
A federal judge has halted his own block on campaign fundraising limits in Arkansas. Earlier this week, the judge moved to block a law which prevented candidates from accepting campaign contributions earlier than 2 years before an election. But today, he stopped his order, which means the law will still be effective. The judge changed his ruling after Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge made the request.
We have some regional news for you now. A St. Louis area man has been charged after threatening to shoot and kill individuals at the St. Louis Pride Parade. 49-year-old Edward Terry was charged Tuesday. Court documents say he created a fake email account and sent a message to one of the Pride STL's parade planners saying he would take his guns to Pride Fest and said he would, quote, kill every gay person I can before I kill myself. The recipient notified the FBI, and police were able to track him down and take Terry into custody.
A lemonade stand robbed, and the victims were young boys.
People were being nice until this guy came.
My son, I try to teach him how to get out and make money on his own, not try to panhandle or steal or rob anybody, and this is what happens. And so I'm very upset.
6 boys, all between the ages of 9 and 13, were selling lemonade and Oreos in Tulsa. They were trying to raise enough money to transform a garage into a hangout spot. But a man pulled up and stole more than $100 and a cell phone from the kids. He is described as being bald with a black beard, driving a brown Chevy SUV. But the boys soon had their spirits lifted. A kind stranger purchased some new lemonade and Oreos and dropped off a cash donation. The kids say they're determined to bring their business back even stronger than before.
And we hope they do. Well, turning now to weather, we've been dodging showers on and off for the last couple of days. Jamie, any chance this wet weather is going to move out for good?
You know, I think we're going to really cut back on the rain chances over the next several days, but we are not going to be cutting back on the heat. Temperatures are heading higher. Looks like our first 90 for this summer season here in Springfield, possible on Friday. More on that coming up.
You're watching Ozarks Fox News at 9 with John Adams, Jennifer Abreu, and weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.